Veggie Grill.
Be creative, choose your path, get what you want.
I had heard somewhere that you went vegan while you were in Iraq.
That's accurate. It's my second deployment. I went vegan probably like a month in.
What prompted that change while you were downrange?
I was deployed with a vegan psychologist. I started asking him quite a few questions and then just did my own research. And once I came to the conclusion that it was good for obviously animals, not harming them, good for the environment, good for my own body, just good for the planet overall. So it just made sense.
And what was your job while you were in the military?
So during that deployment, I was operating as a mental health NCO. But my 3 MOSs are jobs in the military: mental health, combat medic, and occupational therapy assistant.
Oh wow, it's crazy to think you were vegan in Iraq, in a war zone, and some people say that they can't be vegan in Los Angeles.
Right.
Kind of boggles the mind sometimes.
It does. It makes it kind of incredibly hard to accept sometimes. So it seems like being vegan's been a pretty large portion of your life as well.
Roger. I actually went vegan as kind of a joke. In 1992, I was a rebellious punk rocker. My mom, who's very Catholic, asked what I was going to give up for Lent, and to be kind of snarky, I said I was going to give up meat. And everyone thought I was going to die. 40 days in, I felt great. So at that point, I was just vegetarian. And then, because there wasn't any internet, I had to eventually get my hands on some PETA literature, some pamphlets about what we're doing to the climate, how meat is so wasteful and uses so much water, and then obviously what the slaughterhouses really are like.
Right. How did the military come into your story?
That is a great question. So I was actually living in Japan on 9/11. I was an English teacher, I was doing martial arts. I was actually in a band and I had just recorded the soundtrack for the Final Fantasy X video game. But after that tragedy that America experienced, there was no way that I could just stay in Japan. I moved back home. I joined the Army as a medic. I served with the 173rd Airborne in Afghanistan. Obviously, being vegan was ridiculous, especially in basic training, but you make it through. I mean, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are vegan, and I've probably eaten 75,000 of them.
I was already vegan after I'd already been in the military for several years, so basic training, I can only imagine. The dining facilities later on, there's a lot of them that do have soy milk. While we were deployed overseas, a lot of it was contracted, so there were a lot of ethnic foods that were vegan. So it was actually pretty easy.